Okay, you guys probably can't tell from my voice, but I am quite sick today. So nobody wants to see the hot mess that I look like. So I saved you guys that pleasure by omitting the video from this tutorial. So we are doing a hopscotch board for the dreaded elf. If you guys have kids, you are probably full swing elf mode like I am in, which is not very much fun because I tend to forget about it all the time. But yeah, we're just going to jump right to it. This tutorial has quite a few steps in it, so I'm going to show y'all how I do it. First things first, we're going to turn on our grid. The reason we're doing that is so that we can make sure that all of our squares are the same size and they're all aligned right. If you want to be super meticulous. If you don't have to turn on your grid, but I'm going to, and I'm going to show you guys how to do it. So I'm going to go over to view and I'm going to show my grid, and then you get all these funky little lines on here, which I'll zoom in and show you guys. See all the fun lines. Okay, we're going to move over here because we're going to make it right here. Okay, and then we're also going to select our snap to grid. And what that does is when you're creating shapes, it snaps to the lines of the grid. So it kind of helps you stay proportioned and make everything look really pretty. So I'm going to start by opening the rectangle tool, and we're going to hold down shift and create a square. And see, as you can see, I'm going to zoom in so you can see this. You can see what I'm doing when I'm holding down, when I'm making this bigger and smaller. It is basically snapping to the lines of the grid. See that? Okay, so I'm going to keep it at about maybe 3 inches by 3 inches. We're also going to get rid of the fill. I want you guys to see the stroke. And let's make it like purple so you guys can see it. How about that? Actually, we're going to keep it purple because I want to score it. Okay, so can y'all see that right there? Okay, so that's 3 by 3. Okay, we're gonna do a simple copy and paste. I wish y'all could see this. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna turn off my grid because it's kind of hard to see. And I'm sure you guys don't wanna be annoyed by this. Let's put an artboard in over here. Okay. So, maybe I can put the grid on now and show y'all and see if it actually helps. Does that help? Yeah, okay, that should work. Okay, so I've got this. I'm going to get my selection tool, and I want to, and you can see as well I'm moving this piece, it's snapping to where it wants to go. So I want to put it there. I'm going to do 9 squares in this fancy hopscotch. So we're going to make another one and plop it right there. I'm going to paste another one. And that is not centered. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to group those together. But the thing about snap to grid is if you wanted it to, be in a particular spot that like you, like that's not on the grid, it's not going to let you do it. So in order to do that, you have to uncheck the snap for grid. So this looks pretty good to me, so I'm not going to mess with it. Let's move it down because we want to bring this lower. Okay, so we got how many? I want to put another square on the bottom, so I'm pasting another square right there. Okay, and let's add, and since we've already done it, I'm literally just copying and pasting the pieces that I want and bringing it up. And did you see how easy that was to just kind of plop where I wanted it? Okay, now we are going to create this little top half circle. You can really make it however the heck you wanted to. I am going to, I want my circle to kind of be a little bit coming off the edges. I don't know, I feel like that's the hopscotches that I grew up with. May not be what you grew up with, but we're going to do that. Okay, so I'm going to make an ellipse, or a circle using the ellipse tool. We're going to bring it right up around here. I think I want it bigger, so I'm going to size it up a little bit. And that looks, and see, I'm trying to center it, and it won't let me center because it's an odd shape, or it's not snapping to the grid the way, or centered. So I'm going to do that. Okay, I'm gonna fill this so you can see what I'm doing here. Maybe select it. Okay, and then I'm gonna get a rectangle, not a rounded rectangle, a rectangle, and I'm gonna draw it right in the middle. And you can see your like center point is right here. So you basically just want to draw a rectangle in line with that. Oh, y'all, my phone is going off. Let's turn that off. Okay. So back to what I said. I'm going to change this color so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, now we're going to select them both. And we're going to go over to our Pathfinder and Minus Front. And now you have this fun half circle on top. We're going to change it from a fill to a stroke. Move it all down the artboard. And I am going to increase the stroke weight so you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay, so check that out. Now, that looks great, but we have to double check something because we do want to score this. So it looks awesome, but we actually need to make sure that the score lines are where they want to be, where we want them to be. And that is the paths. That's the paths that this made. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over to view and view it in outline mode. And when you view it in outline mode, you can totally see where your score lines are. So when you put it in the Glowforge, you'll see that it's going to score this, it's going to score this. We've got, it's perfect, perfect, perfect. Sometimes I mess this up, but look, I totally did not mess this up. And you'll see that if I mess this up, it would look like this. To my eye, it would be, you know, well, it's on the grid. Hold on. Let's uncheck that. Now watch. If I just set it like right there and I had it, oh wait. Okay, and I had it right there. To the faint eye, it looks like it's just fine. But once you have it in outline mode, you can see that those strokes are not touching and it's going to give you a weird double line on your Glowforge. So we don't want that. Okay, so I moved it right up. That looks good to me. Okay, now we're going to group it all. And a lot of people like to work in this mode if they are really paying attention to the strokes. I kind of go back and forth. I don't really care too much. So I'm going to group it. Okay, so we've done the outline of the hopscotch. It's grouped together. We're going to copy and paste it. And I'm going to make my artboard a bit bigger so you can see. And I'm also going to get rid of the grid because sometimes it drives me crazy. So we go over here to view, hide grid, bam. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to unite all of those pieces together because I want it to be one whole outline. And we're going to go over to Object, Path, Offset Path, and I want to make it, I kind of like that, maybe half an inch. Let's do like 0.9 of an inch. Okay, that's probably good. I'm going to make that one red so that I do not confuse myself. And I'm going to plop it right on top. Oh, is this the one that I did? Oh, there we go. And then we're going to do an align horizontal center and horizontal or vertical line. And now you can see, I'm going to zoom in so you can see what I'm talking about. You can see right here that the Glowforge is going to cut those red lines and it's going to score these purple lines. And you'll still be able to see the purple lines because it's going to cut around it. Because you don't really want it to cut on the purple lines because then you won't see the outline of the hopscotch. All right. Okay, so let's do the numbers really quick and then I'm going to show you guys how I made these little footprints. So the numbers, I'm actually using a scoring font. And I will link where I purchased the font. You guys, buying single line fonts is like a game changer, total game changer, because you can score them instead of engrave them, and oh my gosh, it saves so much time. So, okay, we're gonna go ahead and I got the text tool ready. I'm gonna type out my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes, I know how to count to 9. Check that out. Okay, I'm going to make it a little bit bigger, but then I'm going to select the font. The font, I can't remember what it was called. Here we go. Okay, And I will again link where this is. Okay, we're going to create outline, and what you'll see is when it is a single line font, when you create an outline, it does this like funky thing over here, because it's a fill. If you go over and you swap your fill to a stroke, it looks so much better, because these fonts are made to be in a stroke instead of a fill. So if that makes sense, hopefully I explained that right. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and ungroup, and that separates them all, and start our numbers. I feel like the numbers need to be, the bottom should go right here. And again, if you want to put your snap to grid on, you can, because that'll help you align these. I'm not going to, because my kids are going to play with this and I could care less. So let's get the numbers all pretty on there. You could be crazy meticulous and you can do your horizontal align center and vertical align center on every single one, but I don't want to. Okay, so that looks good to me. And now I'm going to show you guys how I made these little elf prints. Okay, so there's a couple of ways to do this. You can just draw them out with the pen tool. I actually could not remember for the life of me what elf prints look like, so I Googled it, found an image that I liked, did not trace it because you're not allowed to do that, you guys, but it kind of gave me an idea of how to draw it. So I'm going to go ahead and upload the image that I found. Hang on. Here we go. Or cut and paste it over here. Okay, so found that on, I don't know, Google, typed in elf prints, and that's what I got. So a super simple way to do something like this is select your pen tool. Is this my pen tool? Hold on, jeez. Yeah, sorry. Told you guys I'm sick. Select your pen tool and basically create anchors around the image. You don't have to be precise. I'm going to show you guys how to fix it up in a minute, but I'm only using this image so that I can remember what the heck this looks like. Okay. If you have an idea of what you want to put on it, by all means. It's kind of a very fancy, not so fancy way of drawing. Okay, so I've got two of them right there. And I did not do the bottom part of it, but okay. So as you can tell, those are my hideous elf prints, but I'm going to show you guys how I fix this up. So let's go ahead. I hit the ellipse tool. I'm going to put a little circle and another little circle, but we're going to modify that a bit. Okay, I'm going to be done with that. Okay, now what you're going to do is you're going to select probably my favorite tool ever. It's called the, gosh, I'm on a new computer, you guys. Here we go, the smooth tool. So when you select the smooth tool, make sure you have your path selected that you want to smooth out. Once you hit the smooth tool, you'll see that all the anchors are visible, all the anchor points, I mean. And basically, you're going to go around it and just kind of like smooth it out. Look at that. And it just looks so much better. I mean, you can really make anything you want and just smooth it out to look better. Like, look at that. Okay, it doesn't look as good as it could look, but you guys get the gist. So that's that. And now this elf prints usually have like a fun little pom-pom on the edge. So that clearly does not look like a pom-pom. So what I'm going to do is I am going to draw out a circle over here, kind of like that. I'm going to move it over to right there. And then I'm going to select it all and I'm going to unite it. And hopefully that looks way cuter, you guys. Okay. Now I'm going to select this and I'm going to hit my direct selection tool and I'm going to I'm going to click on the individual little anchor points and I'm going to sort of finagle with it. If you click on each little point, you can see that you can kind of make it look how you want it. by moving it around, getting it. And then these little pieces over here will give you kind of like a, I guess it'll move it, squish it a little bit more. That's the way I think of it. Okay, so that looks pretty good to me. Okay, so see the difference right there? Total difference. And honestly, that smooth tool, a game changer. Okay, so I am not going to redo it on this side. What I'm going to do, I'm going to group those together, and I'm going to copy, I'm going to paste, and then we're going to do a quick transform. So object transform, and we're going to reflect it vertically, sorry. And then there you go. And I don't really like that, so I'm going to kind of make it a little bit more, yeah. And now highlight it all, we're going to create a fill. I'm going to make it a compound path. You do that by object, where'd I go? Object, compound path, make. Or you can do a shortcut like I did. So now I've got this thing ready to go, and I'm gonna put it on my board where I want it. This just gives it a fun little touch, I think. So, and I'm gonna set this to be engraved, so that's why I have it filled. So I'm gonna put that there. And let's put another one at the bottom somewhere, like right there. I don't know. You guys do what you like. There we go. That works. I kind of like it there. Okay, so there you have it. And make sure it's all good to go by making sure that everything's a different color. So I want to score these, and right now this is black. So I'm going to go ahead and select all the numbers and make them purple. And I'm also going to make sure my board is purple because I want to score my board, and that's purple. And then this is going to cut, so I want that to be red. And then this is going to engrave, so that's black. And there you go. Wasn't that simple?